Back now with the panel, endgame time, Loretta Lynch. She's still not confirmed. It's been, she was nominated before Ash Carter was nominated to be Defense Secretary, confirmed. Ash Carter's been confirmed. She has not. Listen to what President Obama had to say to Huffington Post on Friday about Loretta Lynch.
The irony is, of course, that the Republicans really dislike Mr. Holder. If they really want to get rid of him, the best way to do it is go ahead and get Loretta Lynch confirmed.
Now, Rich Lowry, you wrote this week that she should not be confirmed. Here's what you wrote. Whether she thinks the executive branch can, in effect, write laws on its own is a threshold question. You're referring to the immigration executive order of the president. Her answer in the affirmative should be disqualifying no matter how impressive her career has otherwise been or how historic her confirmation would be. This is the stance John McCain is using the same reasoning on this. Don't you expect President Obama, if she goes down, to either keep Eric Holder, who also agrees, or nominate? I mean, what's the end game here?
The Holder thing is unavoidable.
To borrow a phrase.
The Holder thing is unavoidable. The end game is to maintain the principle that I think is in accord with the Senate's institutional self-respect and constitutional faithfulness, that the Senate will not put its imprimatur on an Attorney General that has the view the President can write the laws on his own. It just won't. And if that means no one else is confirmed and Eric Holder's there, so be it. It's nothing against her personally. I don't care if she's Elliot Ness. The Senate can't do this.
So your advice to Mitch McConnell is don't. He wants to use it as a bargaining chip. Would you think it should be a principled decision?
I don't think she should come
bring up the vote. Just bring up the vote now.
I don't think she should come up for a vote. But look, I think
you wouldn't even bring her up for a vote. Why?
No, because of this principle. I think it's that important.
Well, then vote her down.
It has to do with her. Well, don't even bring her up for a vote. Say, look, as a matter of institution, as faithfulness to the Constitution, no Attorney General nominee who has the view that Congress can be cut out of the law writing process should even be considered.
Jane Harman, you were a former member of Congress. What do you say to this?
I'm bursting out of my seat. I remember Bush 41, Term 1, when the commander-in-chief authorities were used to do everything, and I was in Congress as the senior Democrat on the Intelligence Committee, and we were cut out of a lot of the backup for these new rules and laws. I just want to say one thing about her. She's superbly qualified. She will render impartial judgment. And then the point here is the president's using his authority to issue executive orders, not to write laws.
No. I mean, look, they say it's prosecutorial discretion what they're doing, but that has to do with individual immigration officers making case-by-case decisions. The president's saying this is going to apply to 5 million people. It's a whole new category of law.
The Supreme Court, by the way, the courts are going to decide. Yeah, the courts make.
But the Congress should have its own view of what is constitutional or not.
John Stanton, obviously there are some Republicans who sit here and say quietly are wondering, does this make the party look bad? They're standing in the way of a historic nomination, African-American woman. Nobody, even the president himself, is not suggesting race is playing a role here. But some African-Americans see it as race.
Some do, and Dick Durbin sort of explicitly said it on the Senate floor the other day. I don't think it has anything to do with race.
No, this is all about immigration.
It's all about immigration, and it's all about McConnell finding himself in a bit of a box. I mean, this is what he wanted to avoid. He did want to get her. His people would say to you explicitly what the president said: we don't want Holder around anymore. We want to get rid of him. And I think this could in the end help them in a sense, because it could hurt her politically enough that they may be able to tamp her down a bit when she finally gets confirmed, but it's going to be tough.
Helene Cooper, let me quote Rudy Giuliani, Rich. Have you seen this one?
Don't use Rudy.
I find Loretta Lynch not only to be an acceptable appointment, but I find her to be an extraordinary appointment. I'm going to be shocked if the White House is quoting Rudy Giuliani, given what he had to say.
They might at some point. It's just hard to.
She may not get confirmed. I'm no longer assuming she does.
I'm not assuming it either, but it's very hard to imagine, with the sort of atmosphere that we now have and the deep divisions between President Obama and the Republican Congress, who he can come up with who would be both palatable to President Obama and this Republican
Chuck Schumer
Congress.
came up with Mike Mukasey. Everybody thought that with the Democratic Senate, right, Rich? And he came up, and Schumer. So I guess maybe Cornyn has to come up with somebody. That would be the thing. All right. Finally, I want to go to Illinois Congressman Aaron Schock. He resigned this week amid a congressional probe into the use of taxpayer money. Federal investigators opened a preliminary inquiry into Schock, which could lead to charges. Schock is hardly, though, the first politician from the land of Lincoln to be under federal investigation. In fact, his allegations may not even crack the top 5 of corruption in Illinois. Quick snapshot of Illinois politicians who ended up behind bars. Look at this. 4 governors, 1 currently serving time. Rod Gloria's back-to-back governors John Stanton. We've got Jesse Jackson Jr. He replaced somebody who also was behind bars. I mean, Aaron Schock here, if he doesn't end up in prison, he's not even in the Sweet 16 of corruption in Illinois.
Illinois has sort of become the new Louisiana for your stereotypical, you know, like, oh my gosh, you obviously are going to be some kind of corruption going on in your background, I guess, with their politicians. It's kind of remarkable.
He drew a very tough bracket when it came to corruption.
It is. It really is. The scamming of mileage stuff. I mean, what are they thinking? This seems petty, no?
Well, hubris is a sad thing, and it erupts all over the place, including in business, even in politics. Oops. But it seems to me in this case, it's a sad story.
It is sad.
And,
I don't mean to mock it like this.
Yeah, rather than mock him, feel very sad that Congress once again has been stained by the behavior of a member.
It is sullied itself. All right. Thank you all. Congratulations, Illinois. That's all for today. We'll be back next week because if it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.